G'day Carpenters, Wes Zandt here from the Down Under Centre. I thought I'd throw this little video together to run through what's involved in the skills assessments for carpenters. Okay, so let's crack straight into it. So a skills assessment's mandatory if you are applying for a skilled visa to Australia. So if you're looking to go for a skilled visa to Australia, go on the government website or jump on our website and you'll find that your occupation is on the skilled list. Once you've identified your occupations on the skilled list, the next thing you need to do is complete a skills assessment. Now, why is a skills assessment required? A skills assessment is required so you can show the Department of Immigration that you have the necessary skills to migrate as a carpenter. Australia needs carpenters. It's very simple. That's why it's on the skilled list. So you want to make sure that you have the necessary skills. So they set some guidelines. Now, the department that looks after the skills assessments for carpenters is called TRA, Trades Recognition Australia, and they have outsourced this work to a registered training organisation, otherwise known as an RTO, and that is Australia Trade Training College. Okay, so Australia Trade Training College works in the UK. They're based in the Down Under Centre in London. Okay, we're very proud to have ATTC here, and the ATTC are TRA approved to deliver the skills assessments for the purpose of migration. So, what is a skills assessment? A skills assessment is broken into two stages. The first stage of the skills assessment is paper-based. It's called a documentary assessment. It's for you to prove on paper that you have the necessary skills. So you have two options, guys. If you, let's say you're from the UK and you completed an NVQ level 3, well, that means you are deemed to have the necessary qualification from your country. So if you have the NVQ level 3, you only need to have 3 years of paid work experience pre or post that NVQ level 3. If you do not have an NVQ level 3, maybe an NVQ level 2, or you learn your craft on site, then you are required to prove 5 years of full-time paid work experience. So providing you've got that, you'll be able to move forward with the skills assessment. So documentary assessment, paper-based. So we want to see photos, videos, detailed references, detailed CV, pay documents, tax documents. Everything's got to be in detail. So what tools do you use? What tasks do you do? How do you prove this? How do you prove it all on paper? So it's quite difficult, but the Down Under Centre have lots of tools and we're the experts in getting carpenters to Australia. So documentary assessment, paper-based, proving on paper that you have the necessary skills. Once you've proved on paper that you have the necessary skills, you'll then be asked to complete a technical interview. Now, a technical interview is done by one of Australia Trade Training College's carpenters, okay? Therefore, they hold the Australian qualification as a carpenter, and they're also a trainer and assessor. So they train young Australian carpenters, okay, either via RPL or through an apprenticeship program in Australia. So they can work with you on the units of competency. So we call it RPL, Recognition of Prior Learning. So if you are looking to complete a skills assessment, rather than completing a 4-year apprenticeship, you're basically proving on paper you have the necessary skills. Now, during the technical interview, the assessors are not there to catch you out. They're a very friendly bunch, okay? They're just carpenters, either still working as a carpenter or maybe full-time teaching, but their background and their passion is in the carpentry industry, which is what we love. During the chat, you'll have an invigilator in the room, and that will be supplied by Australia Trade Training College. So there'll be an invigilator with them. You'll be asked to supply some ID, and then it will be a chit chat. So they'll look at the documentary assessment, the first part. They'll look at the different stages that you've got, and then ask you questions. Again, not to catch you out, but as the assessor's job, it's to tick boxes. So if you are a carpenter, you're going to be absolutely fine. If you're a little unsure what we're looking for, you feel free to click on our self-assessment questionnaires, and you'll find them on the Down Under Centre website. Self-assessment questionnaire is free, okay, and that will tell you what we're looking to, what you'll be assessed on. What are the costs for a carpentry skills assessment to Australia? So the documentary assessment will cost you 1,280 Australian dollars. Now, you do not make payment to Australia Trade Training College for that. You make payment to TRA. TRA will receive the payment. They'll then advise Australia Trade Training College to deliver their documentary assessment. So then your documents will then be looked at. Once you've been deemed successful through that, you'll then be required to pay the second fee for the skills assessment, which will be 2,000 Aussie bucks, and that is to do the technical interview. So we'll arrange all of that for you. At the moment with COVID, you aren't required to come into the Down Under Centre to do that. You can actually do that from your house. Okay, so it makes it very straightforward. Usually it's done around about 6:30 AM UK time. Okay, so our assessors afternoon, or sometimes it can be done in your evening, the assessors mornings, but all of that will be arranged. Okay, so you're not told this is the day you need to do it, it's all worked out. Okay, so again, if you are a carpenter, you'll be absolutely fine. What do you get from successful completion of a skills assessment? Okay, so a successful completion of a skills assessment, you'll get your TRA skills assessment. So now it means you can move forward to put in your expression of interest. You will also receive your full Australian qualification. This will be matched against Australian standards, and you will have the same qualification that an Australian carpenter got when he completed his 4-year apprenticeship. So it's quite a decent qualification to hold. If you were deemed unsuccessful, you would have a chance to resit that, and your resit fee would be 1,000 Australian dollars for the Skype. But if you're coming through the Down Under Centre, it's just not going to happen. All right. Okay. How do you apply for your carpentry registration? So Australia is broken into different states and territories, and each state and territory has a different regulator. So carpentry is not a licensed trade, but most employers will want you to hold the Australian qualification just for insurance purposes. If you are going to work for yourself, then it'll be mandatory that you hold that, therefore that you can go off and get your public liability, and then you can actually work as a carpenter. Guys, if you're thinking about becoming a builder, then the Carpentry Skills Assessment is going to be big in your advantage because you get the AQF3. Therefore, you can use that as a tool to move forward to complete your Certificate 4 in building. Therefore, you can become a builder and sign off all the work. So if you've got questions about that, call the Down Under Centre and we can guide you through. How do you find a job in Australia? Okay, this is a common question we get asked. Employers aren't, if you're at the early stages, employers aren't really that interested. What employers want? They want English-speaking skilled migrants. They want people arriving with their full Australian qualification and a visa. So the Down Under Centre have a product called the DUC Employment Hub. We work with lots of employers Australia-wide in the carpentry and construction industry. We supply, English-speaking skilled migrants to those employers. So jump on the Employment Hub. You'll also see that there's different, you go seek.com, and there's different, it just depends on what you are trying to do. Are you going to specialise in a certain area of carpentry, or are you going to do everything, a mixture of everything? Okay, so how to find a job, sign up for the Employment Hub, have a look at seek.com. You are a wanted person. If you're a carpenter looking to go to Australia, there is lots of work in Australia for that. So how does the Down Under Centre help you if you're a carpenter looking to go to Australia? So we'll provide you with a free consultation to see if you've got the necessary skills to get through a skills assessment, and also to see if you've got enough points for a visa. We don't want anyone paying for a skills assessment if you can't use it for the purpose of a visa. No point having it if you can't get to Australia. Guys, if you want, check out our testimonials as well. Okay, they're from real clients. We do specialise in getting tradespeople and carpenters, especially to Australia. So the next step is to call our UK office, 0203 376 1555, or click on our website and you can actually complete a free points calculator. So there's lots to learn, but just to put a bit of a summary of it, a skills assessment is mandatory, it's a requirement. 2 stages to it. First stage, proving on paper that you have the necessary skills. Most of our clients reckon this is the hardest part. Getting tax documents, bank statements, making sure that if you've said on your CV you've worked for that employer, you can then match that up with a pay document. Okay, that's what we're looking for. You have to prove it. Anyone can say that they've worked for someone, but you have to prove that it matches up. Once you've done all that, have a technical interview with one of the Australia Trade Training College's assessors. A completion of that, you'll then be issued with the skills assessment and the Australian qualification. Therefore, you're able to put in your expression of interest. Okay, if you are, let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say your partner is the main applicant, and should you do the carpentry skills assessment, 100%, not only will you get extra points added to the visa, but you'll also arrive in Australia with your full Australian qualification. I've worked with lots of employers in the past through many different areas, and obviously there's a big benefit with a migrant arriving in Australia with their full Australian qualification. So guys, wish you all the best of luck. Lots of work to do to get you to Australia. This is the first time you're watching it, but this is what we do. All right, take care guys. Catch you later.